Welcome back to Unit 2. This is Part 2. In Part 1 we talked about comparative and superlative. And we said that with countable nouns we can use few, fewer than in the comparative, and the fewest in the superlative. With the uncountable nouns we used little, less than with the comparative, and the least in the superlative. Now let's check the second or the next slide. Okay, it's about rewrite. The first one, I don't have many friends. I don't have many friends. In brackets he gave you the word few. I told you before that to pause the video to think about the answer. Pause the video to think about the answer if you need more time. Okay, the first one, I don't have many friends. How can we use this word, few? Yes. The answer, I have few friends. Don't forget, in this exercise, we should use the words in brackets to give the same meaning, okay? To give the same meaning. I don't have many friends, it will be I have few friends. Okay, the next one, number 2. Salma has few pens. Salma has few pens. In brackets, many. Yes, it will be Salma doesn't have many pens. Salma doesn't have many pens. The next one. We don't have much money. In brackets, little. Pause the video. We don't have much money. In brackets, little. Yes. The answer, we have little money. We don't have much money, so we have little money. Number 4. Amira has little food. Amira has little food. In brackets, much. Amira doesn't have much food. Amira doesn't have much food. Number 5. Sandy has more pens than Rania. Sandy has more pens than Rania. In brackets, fewer. Yes, we'll start the sentence with Rania. So it will be Rania has fewer pens than Sandy. Rania has fewer pens than Sandy. Number 6. Ayman has more homework than Ali. Ayman has more homework than Ali. In brackets, less, because the word homework is uncountable. So we will use less here. So the answer, Ali has less homework than Ayman. Ali has less homework than Ayman. Number 7. Usama bought less petrol than Shadi. Usama bought less petrol than Shadi. In brackets, fewer. ركز في الجملة دي. ركز فيها كويس. Usama bought less petrol than Shadi. In brackets, fewer. Yes. Usama bought fewer liters of petrol than Shadi. Because we have here this word, petrol. It's uncountable noun. And we want here to use this word, fewer. We use it with countable nouns. So we put here liters of petrol. Okay. Number 8. This top shelf has the least rice. This top shelf has the least rice. In brackets, fewest. نفس الفكرة. Fewest. So, the answer. This top shelf has the fewest kilos of rice. Or the fewest packets of rice. Or bags of rice. 9. Hani has more books than Basim. Hani has more books than Basim. In brackets, fewer. It's an easy one. Basim has fewer books than Hani. Okay. Number 10. Rami has more juice than Michael. Rami has more juice than Michael. Juice, uncountable. And we have here less. So it will be Michael has less juice than Rami. Michael has less juice than Rami. 11. Ahmed has 5 books. Fatma has 3 books. Ahmed has 5. Fatma 3. And in brackets here we have this word, fewer. Fewer. So we'll start the sentence with Fatma. Fatma has fewer books than Ahmed. Fatma has fewer books than Ahmed. 12. Omar ate 150 grams of rice. I ate only 100 grams. Omar ate 150 grams. I ate only 100. Okay, so I ate less than him. In brackets, less. So, the answer, I ate less rice than Omar. I ate less rice than Omar. We used here rice because we have the word less, uncountable. Now when we used here less, ما ينفعش استخدم هنا grams. grams هستخدم معاها ممكن fewer. يعني لو انا مدين هنا اقول I ate fewer grams of rice than Omar. بس عشان عندي less هنا فهقول I ate less rice than Omar. Okay. The next one. In this slide here we have language functions. I told you before, language functions are important, as important as the grammar. Okay. Let's check this table. This table is about asking about feelings. How to ask about feelings. How to ask your friends about their feelings. We have 3 forms here. The first one, did the story or the film or the play, for example, make you feel? The second form, how did you feel when? And the third one, how do you feel about? Okay, let's check the examples. The first one, did the story, the film, the play, for example, make you feel frightened, happy, sad, excited? The second form, how did you feel when you saw a lion, for example? How did you feel when you had the accident? The third form here, how do you feel about? How do you feel about your teacher? How do you feel about the film? Okay, this is to ask about the feelings. But if we want to express our feelings, how can we express feelings? Here, expressing feelings, we can say I feel or I felt in the present or past. I felt worried, I felt quite happy, for example. The second one, it made me feel. It made me feel excited, happy. And the third one, I don't feel sad, I don't feel happy, I don't feel angry. So if someone asks you about your feelings, like this example here, did the story make you feel happy, for example? How did you feel when you saw the movie? How do you feel about your teacher? You can answer with these examples here. Okay? Let's check these exercises. We have here general exercises. The first one is about the new question or the new exercise we have this year. The situations. What would you say in the following situations? The first situation, you have read an exciting story and you tell your friend about your feelings. You have read an exciting story and you tell your friend about your feelings. So you will express your feelings, okay? How can you express your feelings? Like this one, it made me feel excited, for example. It made me feel excited. The second situation, you ask. أنا قلت لك خلي بالك قبل كده أنت هترد ولا هتسأل. هنا بيقول you ask. You ask your friend. Okay? You ask your friend about his feelings, about the film he has watched. What would you say? Yes? We can choose this question, for example. How do you feel about the film? How do you feel about the film? Number 3, you're telling your friend Okay, you're telling your friend about what you feel after your school trip. So here you will express your feelings. I feel quite happy, for example. This is the first exercise. It's about situations, we say. The next exercise, choose the correct answer from A, B, C, or D. The first one, people have less space in historical stories. Less what? Less interested, less excited, less popular, less interest. Okay, check the first word and the last one, of course. Interested or interest? Which one? Yes, interest. People have less interest in historical stories. Number 2. I read a space of that book. It said it was very good. You remember the word? احنا قلنا مقالنا جديد. You remember the word? I read the title. I read a review. I read a view. A revision. Yes, I read a review. I read a review of that book. It said it was very good. Number 3. A detective is the person who tries to do what with the crimes? Write crimes? Solve? Do? Read crimes? Which one? Of course, solve crimes. Solve crimes. Number 4. My mother always space a lot of housework. My mother always makes a lot of housework, buys, lets, does. Housework. Does housework. So the answer, the sentence will be, my mother always does a lot of housework. Number 5. This book has 300 what? It's too long. This book has what? 300 pages, ages, or numbers? Of course, pages. Books have pages. Number 6. My math homework space much time to do. My math homework made much time to do. Gave, spent, talk. My math homework took much time to do. قلناها يستغرق. Took much time to do. Number 7. When I read the space of the book, I decided to buy it. When I read what? The title, address, page, cover. Address? When I read the address? Of course not. When I read the title of that book, I decided to buy it. 8. I saw too many people. Space the bus. So I took a taxi. So I took a taxi. It means that I didn't take the bus. I saw too many people by the bus, at the bus, on the bus, in the bus. Yes, on the bus. I saw many people on the bus. 9. Students usually sleep little time, school time. Little time, space, school time. While school time? As, when, during. Which one? Pause the video if you want time to think about the answer. Oh yes, during school time. During school time. Number 10. I hate waiting, space, a bus. So I usually prefer taking a taxi. I hate waiting the bus or a bus. I hate waiting for a bus, at, on, by. Of course, for. I hate waiting for a bus, so I usually prefer taking a taxi. 11. Which the least? Air, water, or soil? Which holds, measures, weighs, carries? Yes. which weighs the least: air, water, or soil. Number 12, how often do you go a boat trip? How often do you go? You remember? We take a boat trip, but I told you how can we use the verb go. How often do you go for a boat trip? Go at a boat trip, go in a boat trip, go on a boat trip. Go on a boat trip, yes. Number 13, I want a book with pages than a detective story. We said that example before. I want a book with fewest, less, least pages than a detective story. Of course, pages is a countable one, so we'll take fewer pages than, fewer than. Number 14, students often have sleep during school time than during the holidays. Students often have little sleep during school time, less, fewer. Little sleep during school time. 15. The Antarctica is the place in the world that has the rain. The much rain, little rain, less rain, least rain. The much, the little, the less, the least. Of course, the least rain. The Antarctica is the place in the world that has the least rain. Number 16. Space people think that English is not a useful language. Few people, little people, much people, a lot people, or a lot of people. Which one? A lot people. Which choice? People is a countable word, so few people think, yes. Few people think that English is not a useful language. Number 17. I have money to spend on buying clothes than my sister has. I have much money, least money, many money, fewer money. Money, uncountable. I have much money to spend on buying clothes than my sister has. Number 18. The recipe uses the oil. The recipe uses the fewer oil, fewest oil, least oil. Think about the word, okay? Is it a countable or uncountable one? Oil, uncountable, so the answer will be least. The recipe uses the least oil. 19. The teacher asked us to write a space of our visit to the museum. To write what? To write a character, to write a title of our visit, to write a conclusion, you know conclusion, نهاية, to write a description. Which word or which choice? D. Yes, description. The teacher asked us to write a description of our visit to the museum. Number 20. I was surprised to see people on the bus this morning. It's always crowded, so it means it's not crowded today. I was surprised to see few people, fewest people, least people, less people. Which one? I told you to think about the word. Is it a countable one or uncountable one? What about the word people? So the answer will be, I was surprised to see few people on the bus this morning. It's always crowded. Thank you very much, with my best wishes. Thank you.